Be ready. Start. I am glad to welcome you today to this conference. As you are aware, our object is to discuss problems of universities with special reference to the improvement of standards and coordination of facilities for higher education. It was my intention to call this conference in January, but on account of pressure of work, this could not be done. The problem we have met to discuss is not new, though it has acquired a new urgency after the attainment of independence. You are all aware that for the last 30 years or more, there have been persistent and at times well founded criticism of our universities. The great increase in the number of students has been accompanied by a fall in the standard of attainment. Ill-equipped and ill-trained graduates have increased the number of the unemployed. Their indiscipline and lack of purpose have added to our difficulties at a time when the attainment of independence has posed greater problem of reconstruction and development before the country. It was in order to examine the existing defects and make recommendations for the remodeling of university education in conformity with the needs of Free India that the Radhakrishnan Commission was appointed in 1948. The Commission made a careful survey of the entire field and made recommendations for necessary changes in the academic, financial, and administrative setup of our universities in the new context. It redefined the aims and objects of university education and placed special emphasis on the establishment of proper relations between the universities on the one hand and the central and state government on the other. One of its basic recommendations was for the creation of a machinery for the most economic utilization of our existing resources by avoiding wastage or unnecessary duplication in the fields of higher study and research. The problem of university education was also framed. There were detailed discussions as to whether university education should be made a central or a state responsibility. The Radhakrishnan Commission had recommended that the all India aspects of university education, the repercussions and interchanges necessary and desirable between universities, and the need or a national guarantee of minimum standards of efficiency require that university education should be a concurrent responsibility of the center and the states. The Commission had mentioned that coordination of facilities in special subjects be of the governments. The coordination of facilities in higher education and the maintenance of standards of university education is thus an exclusive central responsibility. This makes it necessary for the Government of India to take an immediate and direct interest in the affairs of all universities in order to ensure that the provisions of the Constitution are carried out. The government has considered the matter carefully and reached the conclusion that this responsibility cannot be discharged without the creation of an agency which would enable the government to carry out the necessary supervision and overall guidance. Since this duty is an exclusive central responsibility, the government would have been entitled to set up for these purposes an official body composed of its own officers and nominees. The government did not, however, do so. The government recognizes the value of university autonomy and desires that the necessary reforms in university should, as far as possible, be initiated by the universities themselves. The government is also of the view that in all such steps for the improvement of standards of higher education in the country, the cooperation of the states at every step is not only desirable but essential. It is on this account that the Government of India prepared a draft bill entitled Universities Regulation of Standards Bill. Before introducing it into Parliament, the Government of India referred it to the state governments and the universities for their advice and guidance. I must confess that I have been somewhat surprised by the response of the universities to the gesture of cooperation by the central government. The Inter-University Board in its Madras Chennai session has expressed itself against the bill and raised doubts about its purpose and provisions. Nevertheless, the board itself had to recognize the need of a machinery to effect coordination and improvement of standards. In view of this recognition, the suggestion that the draft bill indicates a desire of the Government of India to interfere with the internal autonomy of the universities is quite unfounded, and it is difficult for me to understand the grounds for such suspicion. As I have already said, the government could, if it so wished, introduce the bill without referring to the universities. That it has not done so is itself evidence of the government's regard for university autonomy. Further, the constitution of the body proposed in the bill is such as to ensure that the autonomy of the universities will be respected. The government could have proposed the appointment of a body under its own control to look into the affairs of the universities, but instead the government has proposed that it should be autonomous also.